Hey everyone, it's me back with another math lesson for you. This is actually the last math lesson in Unit 6 that we're going to cover over home learning. So let's just get started. So just some vocabulary I want to start with today. We've talked before about how multiplication is basically the same as repeated addition, doing addition over and over again. We're going to have to show addition equations and multiplication equations. So remember that an equation, I'm not left-handed, so I'm going to switch sides. An equation means it has to have an equal sign. Addition means it's going to have a plus. Multiplication means it's going to have a times. And if it's a repeated addition, you might have to do something over and over again when you're doing that. So for example, if I was doing 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, that would be repeated addition. The multiplication for that would be I'm having 3, how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Or I have 4 groups of 3. 4 groups of 3 are here. So what I can do, this is my addition equation. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Multiplication would be 3 times 4 with the equal sign, and then you can say how much it is. So that's our vocabulary for today. So I just want to remind you what that looks like with a little bit of just a couple of problems real quick. So the first one is super basic, but really important to remind you what multiplication really is. So it says there are 3 vases. Each vase has 4 flowers in it. How many flowers are there in all? So we know that each vase has 4 flowers, and we know, hello, you there? We know that there are 3 vases, 4 flowers. So that means that I have 1 vase here with 4 flowers. So I need to have 1, 2, 3 vases with 4 flowers. So if I want to do this like multiplication, or sorry, addition, I would have 4, oops, plus 4 plus 4. So 4, 8, 12. So there would be 12 flowers. All right. So that should take you back to 2nd or 3rd grade, but an important idea to remember, because now instead of doing it with whole numbers, now we're going to solve these with fractions. So, and this is a true fact, flowers will last longer if you add 1/4 cup of soda to the water. It has to do with the sugars that are in the soda. Clear soda, not cola or something like that. How much soda do you need for 3 vases? Okay, so we already found out 3 vases. We found out how many flowers, that was 12. But now it's saying that we need 1/4 cup of soda to the water. So we're going to do the same process, but this time it's going to be 1/4 cup plus another 1/4 cup or 1/4 cup plus another 1/4 cup. So I'll try to match these up with the pictures a little bit so that I can make sure we're getting what we're showing. And if you're confused about this being 1 divided by 4, it actually is 1 divided by 4. But we are, right now we're thinking of it like fractions. So I'm going to try to show that these are fractions. 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup, and 1/4 cup. And what we said earlier in the year is that the denominator, the bottom number, is kind of like the unit. I could say 4, before I said 4 flowers or 12 flowers. So fourth is actually our unit. So here we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 cups. 3/4, oops, not fifths, fourths cup. 3/4 of a cup. So we just did repeated addition, which means we actually just did multiplication. This is our addition equation here. What would our multiplication equation be? We had 1/4 cups, and then we did that how many times? We did that 1, 2, 3 times. 3/4 cup. So because we proved it with a repeated addition, the solution is still the same. We still have 3/4 of a cup, but instead of doing just addition plus plus equals, now we're doing 1/4 times 3, because this we're doing 1/4 3 times. Okay, one other way to practice that. You can make blue flowers with water and blue food coloring. Add 1 cup of water and 3/8 of a teaspoon of food coloring to a vase of flowers. How much water would you need for 5 vases of blue flowers, and how much blue food coloring? Okay, so this is actually asking us 2 different things. So let's see, what do we know first? You can make blue flowers with water and blue food coloring. Okay, true. Don't need to know that to solve the problem. But it is actually true also if you get the right kinds of flowers. So 1 cup of water and 3/4 of a teaspoon of food coloring to flowers. And we have 5 vases. So I'm going to try to color code again. Let's see, water and blue, those are both blue. So I'll say yellow for water. So water for 1 vase of flowers is 1 cup water plus 1 cup water plus, I'll get this one of these days. Make this a little bit smaller, try to match up with the pictures a little more. Okay, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of water. Okay, so for 5 vases, we would need 5 cups of water. So here's the addition equation for that. And then the multiplication for equals 5 cups of water. Now, this is all addition, so the multiplication equation of this would be our same 1 cup of water. And then how many times did we do that? We did that 5 times. So that's going to give us 5 cups of water. Same. All right. I'm going to do the same problem now, but now instead of looking at the water, I'm going to look at the food coloring. Okay, so we have our blue food coloring. For each vase of water, and it's going to do a lowercase t for teaspoon, we'll need 3/8 of a teaspoon of water. Right, 3/8 teaspoon, nope, not water, food coloring. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that off right now just so we can get this a little quicker. So again, for 5 aces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we know that we need to add all of these together. So now I also need to add a plus, a plus, a plus, and a plus. Okay, so now if we think about this eighth like a label, we have 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8. So we have 3/8, 6, 3 plus 3 is 6, so that's 6/8. 6/8 plus another 3/8 is 9/8. 10, 11, 12/8. 13, 14, 15/8. So it's going to equal 15/8 teaspoons of food coloring. So that means that if you had an eighth of a teaspoon, you have to do that 15 times. 5th grade level work, if you had 15/8, we know that that is more than 1 whole teaspoon, because 1 whole teaspoon would be 8/8. So I can think of that like 8/8 plus, let's see what would get us to 15. Well, 8 and 8 is 16, so it must be 7/8. So again, 5th grade level work, you don't need to do this right now, but you can if you want to. If you want to make this, so it would be a little bit faster if you were doing this at home for 5 vases of flowers, then we would have to, then we would have to move everything over so you can see. Group it. So then we would have to think of it like, what is 1 whole? 1 whole is 8/8 and 7/8. So if you were using teaspoons, you would need 1 and 7/8 teaspoons. So again, that's repeated addition though. How would we write that as a multiplication problem? I still have my 3/8 teaspoon. Just because I'm like a super nerd, I'm gonna keep making these fractions so you can see what they are. And how many times did I have 3/8 of a teaspoon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I hadn't already done this addition, it would be really hard for me to figure this out. But since I've already done it, I know it's 15/8 or 1 and 7/8. So using repeated addition can be a way for you to solve these multiplication problems where you have a fraction that you're adding multiple times. All right, so that is the way that we are going to add these, multiply these fractions, and we'll give it a try now. All right, good luck.